one of my biggest values is really like the connection you have with the greater world value. Like I think I try to move through life connected to the area that I am in and trying to be thankful for everything that it gives me.
Welcome, everyone. This is Jermaine Jackson, sports producer here at Daybreak Star Radio, the only station indigenizing the airwaves. And today, I have the wonderful pleasure of speaking with a rising star both on and off the golf course. She's from LaConner, Washington, Emma Worgum. She's currently a junior at Western Washington University and was also named first team All GNAC as a freshman. We are excited to get an inside look at her journey. Emma, welcome, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. How are you doing today?
I'm Emma Worgum. My family's from Yakutat, Alaska. I'm Tlingit, Alaska Native. I'm a junior, like you said, at Western Washington. I play golf for the team, and
So, first question, when did you first discover your love for golf and what initially drew you to the sport?
well, I started playing golf when I was like 6 or 7. My dad first initially got me into it. He was a baseball player and played baseball in college, and he had me try all the sports. And I'm not like overly coordinated or fast, but or no, I guess I'm just not super fast, and I don't jump very high, so the sports weren't really my thing. But I was pretty coordinated, so I picked up golf right away, and I'm pretty patient, so that helps like with my personality, and it helped me really like gain some traction there. And then I started getting into it more and more when I got older. I started practicing at Swinomish golf links in Anacortes, Washington.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, my local tribe. I went to LaConner High School, and so I grew up really closely with the Swinomish tribe. And my mom worked for them under Brian Clattersby. He was the NCAI chairman for a while, but yeah, I get to play with the tribal leaders a lot, which was super awesome from Swinomish. I would like travel with my mom, and we would go out and play and skip out on some meetings sometimes. And
How has your cultural heritage influenced your journey in golf and in life in general?
the biggest thing for me, one of my biggest values in my culture is sustainability, and living within myself and looking for ways to live, um, like with the connection to the land and the connection to the area and the people. Um, so I started in college my major urban sustainability, which is like a urban planning, and
Okay.
I'm recently going into urban planning and sustainable development. So my culture is really impacted my my major and like what I want to do with my life. I'm really impacted by that, and that's what I want to go forth with. Uh, with golf, um, I think my patience and like my connection to others, and like I'm not overly, I guess my I guess I'm not overly competitive in the way that like my culture impacts that is I I don't want to tear others down, and I feel like golf is a very like it's supposed to be like a gentleman's sport kind of a thing where like everybody gets along and roots for each other, and the people who win are should have respect for others. So in that way, my culture kind of comes in, and my values that my family taught me.
Can you share a standout moment in your career that really has really shaped you as a golfer?
In my high school career was I won my state championships by quite that was really cool. I shot my lowest round ever. I shot 69
Oh,
um that day. So I shot 75, 69, and the second day to like close out the tournament. So that was super huge. That was super huge for me, which it was the first time I learned that like I could go low and like I have the chance to like really hang with like the big players,
Hmm.
which that was a big momentum
Yeah.
boost for me.
What kept you motivated during tough times, and how do you approach setbacks?
I try to take setbacks as a learning curve and like always try to put like a positive twist on what happened. Of like, okay, this happened, but how am I going to learn from it? Is like I kind of nerd out about how I can do better and what it is that I did wrong to do that. So I like thinking about it in like a positive way, I guess, and like thinking like, okay, if I get the chance to do this again, this is how I would do it.
So on the golf course now, so what has been one of the biggest challenges you faced, and then how did you overcome it?
Honestly, right now I'm kind of going through it with my scores is like last year I got second place at like pretty big tournaments twice in a row where I shot 68, which was like the GNAC is our conference like record, and
Hmm.
I followed it up with an 88. So it was like a 20 stroke difference, and then I lost the tournament, obviously. So that was hard on my confidence. That was really hard on my confidence. And like this year I've been struggling to like shoot those low scores again because I've just kind of been in my head mentally about it. Right now, in the next couple weeks, I'm really trying to work on my reps and get my confidence back up.
Who are your biggest role models growing up, and how have they impacted your athletic and personal journey?
Definitely my mom and dad. I guess that's the answer everybody says, but that's really they're really my biggest role models. I'm an only child, so my mom, she's always she's always done the right thing. She's kind of in the political atmosphere and like working for the tribes and stuff, and she's always done like what's right and is a very genuine person and tries to like do things for others and not just for her own like gain or individualistic thinking is really important to me. And then my dad, he's always he's always stuck up for himself, which I really like is like something that I try to like emulate, where sometimes I feel like I step out of the way for other people or if, um yeah. And he always stays true to himself
Hmm.
and stays true to like what he thinks and what he wants to do is what he does. And I try to, I don't know, now that I'm older, I'm reflecting on like what that really means. And like how I can do that is like, okay, like what do I want my life to look like? What do I want to do? And I actually have to make those decisions every day and choose myself.
What are some of the values and lessons from your indigenous background that you still keep with you today?
I think the biggest one is like compassion for others and being considerate of others and learning it and like just going through life trying to work together and not put others up or down for myself. And I really try to stay connected like I talked about, but one of my biggest values is really like the connection you have with the greater world is my biggest um value. Like I think I try to move through life connected to the area that I am in and trying to be thankful for everything that it gives me.
Finally, what advice would you give to young indigenous athletes who have dreams of pursuing sports as well, whether it be collegiate or professional?
I think it's so hard for Indigenous youth to get into sports and higher level sports because I think the representation is really hard to get past where like I grew up like thankfully with like I said like a lot of tribal leaders that played golf and said like yeah you're supposed to be here. This is where I grew up really young like thinking like oh every like a lot of tribal people like play golf and like that's the norm. And like as I moved through and like got into higher levels of golf and like tournaments and things with like the greater population, I started to realize like, no, nobody looks like me and nobody thinks, the same way that I do about everything. And like they come from very different backgrounds. And I feel like the higher up you go, the more people are different than than us. And so I the greatest piece of advice I think I could give is just like you earned your spot. Like you worked hard for everything that you have and like nobody can take that away from you. Like people will get jealous, people will get weird and things like think things about you that just like sorry, that just simply aren't true and you have to like keep your head up and like let people know that you're supposed to be there and that you have every right to be there as anybody else.
With my friend Pearl Green, we started Native Hoops. So we do basketball camps in the villages every summer. I want to be able to give back to like, doing our cultural basketball camp. So it's not just a basketball camp, but it's also like learning different cultures, like how our culture intertwines with basketball, like how much we work hard, like